When it comes to preparing graphics for screen-based display, small equals beautiful. And not only does small equal beautiful with the dimensions of an image, it also is the size of the image measured in K. And there are a couple of tools inside of Fireworks that allow you to sort of get a handle on optimizing images for screen-based display, which is going to be the subject of this exercise. So to get yourself started, open the optimize.png file located in your exercise folder. And when it opens, you see it's a little banner ad with like a little curtain in the background with a gradient in it and some text. Think of it as just, as I said, like a little banner ad. Now, right now, I just don't know how efficient this image is. I do know that it's composed of two images, a bitmap and text with a stroke. But on the whole, I really don't know how big this image is and how efficient it's going to be when it's in a web situation and downloading. The first way you can get a handle on that one is not to look at the original, but you can actually look at it in the preview. And when you click the preview button up here in the window, you'll see that the file is 9.02K, so it's basically 9K in size. It's going to take approximately 1 second to load using a 56K modem, and it is a JPEG document. Now, we can apply compression to this file and get a real good look at its effect or the effect of the compression upon the image. And that all happens right up here with the Optimize panel. So if you come over to the panels grouping, the one at the top is Optimize. If you don't see it, it's in the Window menu, Optimize, or you can even press the F6 key. And another place where you can apply this is right here off the Properties panel. If you click on the pop-down, you can see that you can choose between GIF and JPEG optimization. Let's work with the Optimize panel. What this is telling me is the amount of compression that I can apply to the image. And as I make changes to this, it will affect the download speed. So for instance, if I want to change this to a JPEG smaller file, it's going to apply 60% compression. You notice the file size has come down. It's going to take absolutely no time to download. If you take a look at the gradient in here, you think, it looks okay, but is it really okay? And one of the things you can do is just get the magnifying glass and zoom in. And you can see that it's starting to band out. Okay, we'll just zoom back out. So how do you sort of pick between what's what? Well, the next two buttons at the top of the window here are really godsends. What they allow you to do is to look at various compression options and compare the quality to each other. So if you choose two up, what you're going to be looking at are two versions of the file. I'm just going to close this. One on the left is the original. It shows you what you're starting with, and the one on the right shows you the one that you've just chosen, and you can compare the two. If you choose 4 up, you get 4 choices, which is kind of neat because it allows you to sort of play what-if games in what I call a non-destructive manner. None of these changes are really going to be applied. So what we've got here is a JPEG document with 60 quality, 4.63, K, 0 seconds. What would happen if we selected the JPEG document here, and in the Optimize panel, we took the quality up to 70%. And you can see that the file size really does increase. So we've gone from 60 to 70 with an increase in file size. And if we take a look at the gradient, again, we just get the magnifying glass. We'll just take a look at it, say right here with the S and the H. As you zoom in here, you can compare the effect of your change with the original, with the one you want, or the one you've selected, and earlier versions of it. And you can see that there is solid degradation. Even though you're saving file size, the degradation in the color banding across the gradient and along the edges is quite significant. The other thing you can do with this panel is you can say, well, I wonder what it looks like as a GIF image. GIF images are kind of neat, but they're not really good for gradients. So if I come here to the Optimize panel, and I just choose, we'll just go with the GIF 128. You'll notice that the file size increases, but then there's all this dithering in here. And if I double click, you can see that you're really going to be losing quality. Now, the thing to keep in mind about working with GIF images is that working with GIF is wonderful if it's a solid color, but when you start moving into subtleties and gradients, you're going to have some issues. Okay, so we're going to close the Optimize panel. We're going to come back to our original, and we're going to come back to the original. This is the work area. Notice if I click preview, you can't select anything because it just shows you what your change is going to look like. So if we come to the original, we can also apply compression right here off of the property inspector. So if I choose JPEG better quality, the file size will come up a little bit and it looks a little bit better. and I might want to go with GIF WebSnap 256, and it doesn't look too bad, but I'm not seeing too much of a change in the image. So what it really comes down to is just keeping an eye on the pipe. Make sure that your quality objectives are being met. And remember, it's always a trade-off when you're working with color optimization. Even though you may wind up with a smaller file size, it always is a trade-off is quality. And it's up to you to determine how much of a trade-off you need to make between quality and file size. And in this exercise, I've shown you how to make that decision by using the Optimize panel. I've shown you how to compare images using the 2-up and 4-up views. And I've also shown you how to apply the compression or the optimization right here off of the Properties panel.